Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying this beautiful summer day and that you get plenty of rest and restoration this summer. We're looking at Mark chapter 7, verses 14 to 23, so I ask you to pause the video and read those verses. They're in the description section below. And now I'll move into the questions. What were the outside things that the Pharisees and scribes thought defiled people? Three essential categories of things, I think. Unclean foods, that if you ate them would defile you. Unclean people, either from their sin and their lack of repentance and or lack of practice that would make them clean. And also sicknesses, sick people, women who are menstruating. There's probably a lot more, but these are at least the three main categories of outside things that could defile you as a person. Question 2. Jesus says that materials from outside, including food, go into the stomach, are digested, and the useless parts, the defiling parts, are expelled. What differentiates the inside defiling things and outside ones according to Jesus? Well, the inside ones go into the heart rather than going into the stomach. And so the question becomes, how do we purge what happens naturally by way of your digestive system? There is a kind of spiritual digestive system that we need to put into practice that will allow us to expel the defiling things that go into our hearts. They also grow in our hearts, whether it be things from the past long ago that others have done to us, things that we have been taught that have been wrong, things that have happened to us, things that we have done ourselves. And so the question is, how can we get rid of these defiling inside things in our hearts? Can inside things defile others around us? So yes, the things that are in our hearts and that come out of us can defile others as well, but we can also be shielded from these things when others defile us by way of the things that Jesus lists, the defiling inside things in our hearts. Question 4, what are the keys to overcoming these dangers that Jesus mentions? I'd like to go into the concept of a circumcised heart. I think that since these things are in our deepest parts, which is what I think the heart refers to here, the things that, the way that we're going to be able to expel these things is by way of circumcising our hearts, which is what the Old Testament and the New Testament call us to, both. So we have to cut open our hearts and allow the Spirit of God, the cleansing Spirit of God, to come in. Circumcision is a means of being marked as a child of God, and the way that we are marked as a child of God, as Christians, as children of the covenant, is by way of baptism. So I think the primary means of having our hearts circumcised is by way of remembering our baptism. Remembering the faith that is at the root of our baptism, remembering the baptismal processes of repentance, of forgiveness. And so the way that we are cleansed of these inside things that defile us is by way of repenting of them, by way of remembering God's forgiveness, by calling on the Spirit of God to transform us and make us new. In all these ways, the Spirit descends into our hearts and makes us new. We can also be shielded from the defiling sins of others by way of the Spirit's protection as well. And so the more that we call on the Spirit of God to protect us, to shield us, to cleanse us, the more that we ourselves will be cleansed and will be able to not only no longer defile others, but we will be able to move into those who are suffering from a sense of not feeling clean, suffering from sins that defile, be present to them, care for them, and be shielded from whatever sort of outbursts, whatever hurtful things they might do to us, and continually be a part of their redemption, their sanctification, the circumcision of their hearts by way of the Spirit of God. Thanks so much for listening, and have a wonderful day. We love you, and let us know if there's ever anything we can do. I'm going to be exploring the texts that are on the bottom of the study this week. And so explore those texts and join us for worship on Sunday as we look into them. Bye.